Hello, Forever Family. My name's Shannon. I'm a recovery pastor, and this week's message is probably a little different than what you normally hear from us. We're looking at Matthew chapter 4, and this is something that God has really been speaking to me about. So, in Matthew chapter 4, it opens with Jesus being tested in the wilderness, and then Jesus begins to preach. And as it transitions on through there, Jesus calls his first disciples. And he says, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." And then, as the chapter comes to a close, they witness Jesus healing the sick. Now, I know in my walk, I'm not going to speak to everybody's walk. This is my walk, and I'm trying to be transparent in these videos as much as I can. God takes us through a pruning process before we can go through an educational process. And what I mean by that is God removes our comfort zones of our routine because that's what we lean on. And we must start learning to lean on God. And when we do this, that is when He can start actually teaching us because He has our attention. So, in other words, God had to tell His disciples, Jesus had to tell His disciples to get out of the boat before He could teach them to fish. So in one chapter, just one single chapter, and I think that this can speak volumes to so much of our lives, Jesus was tempted. He began to preach. He called His disciples out of the boat, and then He healed the sick. If that one chapter today unfolded right in front of our eyes, how would we react? But my question is, where are you in this chapter? Do you feel like you're in the wilderness? Do you feel like everything's coming down on you? Do you feel like you're in this growth season and either you're speaking to someone else's situation or they're speaking to your situation, in other words, preaching and teaching? Do you feel like you're being called out of the boat? Or are you calling someone out of their boat, trying to encourage them to lean on God, lean on Jesus? Or are you standing there in awe because you've witnessed God move so much in your life and in the lives around you as He's healing people that you're just soaking it all in, like you're awestruck? No matter where we're at, God has to call us out of our boat. He has to call us out of our routine. He has to remove us from our normal so that our normal lives and our normal experiences can be extraordinary. But again, before He could teach the disciples how to fish, fishers of men that is, they had to get out of the boat because in our everyday language, to fish meant you got in a boat. You had to have a net. You had to have fishing poles. That's not what Jesus was trying to explain to them. I would encourage you, when you read chapters like Matthew 4, brainstorm with some of your friends. What does this mean to you? What do you receive? Look at the history behind the stories that the Bible holds. There are so many little nuggets of information that it's just waiting. It's a gold mine just waiting. So remember, before we can be fishers of men, we have to get out of the fishing boat. Until next time, speak life, be a blessing, put your faith feet into action to cause a ripple effect. Much agape, everybody.